If anyone didn't know, the voice comm system is now live in-game. It's not on the public test server, it is actually in the live iteration of the game. So that means that you can talk to your teammates or in the lobby with your microphone and listen in with your headset or your speakers. If you didn't know or hadn't realized, it is push to talk default. That means you have to press a key to talk, and that is currently on left Alt on the PC. Personally, I have it on a button on my mouse because I've got side buttons on my mouse, and honestly I've always used this for push to talk and find it a little easier to get to than the left Alt, as you'll be sometimes jumping around and things with the keyboard, and I find it a little bit less hectic to put my thumb to the side of my mouse. If you do want to rebind that, then you can go into key options, go scroll down to the very bottom of the key bindings and the bindings themselves in that options section. You could keep the left Alt just in case you do want to use it, and then set another one on the right hand side in the right hand plane, but you just basically click on it and set a new key by pressing the key once you've clicked on it. I'm not gonna lie folks, I'm really happy this feature has gone forward, and it was on my top 5 list of what Paladins should change, what should come to Paladins, what features it needed, and that list went in the bin because quite a few of the things they have started to implement. And the main reason for this is because on the rank system there's only duo queuing, and that means you're probably not going to be in the same Discord or basically voice server outside of the game with the people that you are put up with. It just means that you can coordinate on a different level and do callouts, so call out people that are attacking you or people that have flanked you, and it really ups the level of play in the game. And I think actually it could potentially have some effects on balancing and how sometimes in casual games when a flanker gets into the back lines they can wreck up, and gives more awareness to the rest of your team. This is one of the reasons why Skye is often called overpowered, although higher level players and competitive players will probably tell you that she isn't at all. Map knowledge and knowing when she's actually coming in out in Viz or where she actually is on the map is a big part of the reason why she's kind of a casual stomper but not great in the competitive scene. And obviously in these competitive games you're probably talking all the time, calling out whenever people are flanking, when to push and things like that. But what I really wanted to talk about today was the more casual matches, the matches that probably most people are going to be playing, and how to take advantage and get the most out of voice chat in the current system. So actually in most of the games so far I've played today, only a few people in each of the teams have been talking, and I think that's just a reality of voice chat systems. Not everybody wants to talk and not everybody is talkative, and actually I think there is a bit of a difference between the Europeans and Americans and sort of the culture of how open and talkative people are, and I think probably Australians are more talkative than we are in Europe. And actually it was very obvious when I played PlanetSide 2, where there was a voice chat system, that in the European servers hardly anybody talked, but in the US servers and the North American servers everybody talked. There's kind of a massive divide of how much communication went on in each side. And generally people have their own little anxieties and things that are going on with themselves and may not want to talk at all, or may not even have access to a microphone, or perhaps if you're younger, I remember I couldn't arouse suspicion to myself if I was talking to a microphone. I think my parents might have questioned what I was doing talking to people online. So there's a lot of things that factor into this voice chat system. But for those that can talk, I think there's some things that you can do in casual games that aren't going to annoy everybody on your team and instantly make them mute you. And I think it's another thing to mention, that if you try and act like a team captain and drag everybody in, if not everyone's not cool with that or they don't want that, then you're probably just going to get muted, and you don't want that either. But I think in casual games, and using the voice chat, some of the things that you can do that will be really helpful, and will probably not get you muted by the rest of your team, is calling out when a flanker is behind you, or if somebody doesn't notice a flanker or an enemy attacking them from a side or behind, and calling that out for them, and making sure you say which champion, and perhaps the name of the person it is, to give them the warning of when they're being attacked. It gives your allies more map awareness and game sense in the game, and gives them a chance to survive, and it's just helping them out. I also don't think that you necessarily are going to boss people around in the map, as like I said, people will probably mute you, but one thing that a lot of people get stuck on is when, say, 3 of your team die and there's 2 of your allies left, sort of in the front lines, and they might not realise that everybody's died, or might be so focused on the objective that they're just about to get wiped out, and giving them a gentle nudge saying, everybody else has died, you might want to pull back guys, is probably going to help out as well, just to let them know, oh wow, everyone's dead, I better get back. Because that's one of the things I think a lot of people get caught out on, and in a casual game especially, you can give that little hint and not be too over the top about it. Like I always said with the VGS system, just saying nice job over the microphone or giving some encouragement or maybe thoughts on what happened in the past round could be good to give over the voice chat. You could also call out things like people not being on the point but being so close to the point that they could be on it, because sometimes people assume that one of the allies is going to be standing on the point but actually nobody else is there. So sometimes you can say, oh, pull back and come back onto the point. I just think that in casual games, and when people aren't talking on your team and nobody else wants to talk, you can just be giving little tips, just be giving little hints on what's happening on the battlefield, helping out your allies, and just giving little nudges on what's happening in the game to give people the awareness they need to move back or move on to a point, with again not being the drill sergeant or trying to take the lead, unless of course your team is all talking, everybody's happy for you to take the lead, or you're all calling out positions, you're calling out where enemies are and when enemies are attacking from, like almost blow by blow, then sure, that's great. But in conclusion, I just think it's the little things that you can be pointing out in especially casual games and in the games that aren't really turned on in the competitive scene where you really want to win. You can just be giving little nudges and things like that when the rest of your team might not be talking. I think it's worth talking about because a lot of people will just assume that everyone's not talking so I shouldn't talk, or people think, oh my god, this guy's being obnoxious, or you go too far with what you're trying to say over the microphone. Anyway, going forward, I really hope that there's some banter going on in some of these games, and obviously there's opportunities now to make friends over the voice chat, to make jokes and things like that as well. Voice chat doesn't just have to be about the competitive scene or winning, it can also be having a laugh, and that's just another nice feature to have. If you do want to mute everybody and you just can't deal with it, then you can either go through each person in the tab menu and just click on the talk icon, and if you 100% just don't want to have anything to do with voice chat, then you can always press escape and then there's a button to mute all players. Or in the main options on the audio section, you can just disable enable voice chat option to get rid of it completely. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of standoffish moments and toxic moments, maybe people ragging on people because they're younger, maybe people just insulting their own team and things like that happening, but I just wanted to focus on to the positives today and maximizing your use of voice chat without annoying your team if you are in a casual game or in a group that doesn't really want to talk. Anyway, what does everybody else think about the voice chat? Do you think my tips were quite interesting? And do you think that you'll be talking a little bit more? Or maybe listening to some of your allies? Or are you just going to go hit that mute button straight away and turn everybody off? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Joshino.